Hello and welcome to From the Pile, episode 12. I'm Kat, joined by Ernesto.
Hello.
And this is going to be another dog shit episode on mobile, which I can't edit any of the features on here because StreamYards is not working on my laptop anymore. So I have to figure that out, and I can't figure it out for a while. So we're stuck with the Batman opening.
It is so bad we had to resort to using a picture of me at the age of 12 as Indiana Jones.
It's so small I can't even see it.
You gotta zoom to believe.
I'm not going to do that, and I'll tap out. So,
boy,
let's see if I could turn it like this, if that helps.
Spared no expense.
Yeah, this is dog shit. This is just terrible.
On the right side, you look clear as day.
No, it looks pretty bad. All right, we have people watching. What have you been up to this week?
Oh, well, a lot of people are dropping like flies at the office. Management is pissing off some people. People are pissing off people. And sexual harassment is pissing off people. Woohoo!
I meant more like, on the movie front.
Oh, on the movie front. Well, you should have been more specific. On the movie front, let's see. Let me check the library.
Well, we don't talk about all that other crap on the show.
Well, I gotta fill in the air gap here. Let's see. Okay, well, I did see a couple movies. Actually, I saw 3 movies, but one of them I'll save for next week. The 2 I saw them back to back. I had planned on doing a triple, but I couldn't do the triple because, of course, showtimes and life would not allow it. So I did a double of Power Ballad and Disclosure Day. Now, Power Ballad, for those who don't know, is supposed to be a comedy directed by John Carney, starring Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas. And the basic premise is that a former bandmate, for lack of a better term, he's right now, he's already way past his prime. His daughter is in high school. He's happily married. He performs at weddings with the band he's currently with. And like many, he dreams of a life he feels he should have had, being on stage in front of millions of people, singing songs that he wrote from the heart. And that's not the dream he has. The reality he has is, he's a wedding singer for the most part. And he comes across a singer played by Nick Jonas, and they meet at a wedding in, I believe it's Ireland, in one of those castles. And the Jonas character is a friend of the couple, and they ask him to perform at the wedding for one song, and then he joins the wedding singer, and they both perform one of Stevie Wonder's songs. And later that night, they both meet up. They get drunk and they start talking about music. What does it mean? What does it mean to write a song? What is the purpose of writing music? Where is the soul of the song? And they end up writing a song, or at least completing a song that Paul Rudd's character had dreamed up, but he never could find the right sound, the right tempo, and he was able to achieve it that night. And then 6 months later, the musician in question decides to take that song, make it official, and it became a #1 top of the chart hit. And Paul Rudd's character wants the credit, at the very least, a co-writer credit, and they don't want to give it to him. The main singer lies about it, and the whole movie is about him trying to get credit for the song. As far as comedy is concerned, it has a couple of moments to laugh at, but it's one of those where, well, humor is subjective, so it'll work for some, it won't work for everybody. And I don't think most of the movie was funny, but I was intrigued just to see where it was going to go. I was never bored. It was amusing. And I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. The acting is pretty solid for the most part. It's not something you have to go out of your way to see in the movie theater, but if you do see it, you're not going to walk out like you wasted your time. It was a pretty charming movie.
Okay.
The second movie I saw, which you had seen before, was Disclosure Day.
Okay.
And for the most part, based on your review of last time, I agree in the sense that, yeah, it kind of does feel like we've been there, we've done that. A lot of the feelings I got watching this movie is very vintage Spielberg, but it's also by the numbers Spielberg. It almost feels like his greatest hits were put into a blender as far as the sci-fi alien genre that he's well known for. And I appreciate the sentiment of, hey, we're now in an era where we shouldn't just tell, alien invasion stories. Let's tell not even a first contact, more of a let's have the conversation that this is no longer science fiction, it is science fact based on, the premise of the movie and based on what's been happening in the real world, especially since the last hearing at the administration with, members of the military and all those. We don't call them UFO anymore. Now it's UAP, which I prefer UFO still to this day, but okay, UAPs. When we got to the third act, I felt that, somehow I feel this should be more impactful, but it doesn't feel that impactful. And I feel that, when with that main anchor or journalist that was on screen describing what she was seeing, I guess it would be CNN at that point. She's getting so, it's a bit of a spoiler here. She's getting so emotional watching what's happening where I'm just like, are you getting emotional because, wow, this is real? Or are you getting emotional because you feel sad? Also, why are you feeling sad? This is not a natural reaction to what's going on. I don't know why you're reacting the way you are. And the best way I can describe this movie is Minority Report meets the X-Files. It has that chase aspect. It has that technology aspect that you kind of expected from Minority Report about how to find these people they're chasing. And the X-Files of, hey, I want to believe in these things. And that's pretty much the premise of the X-Files. I liked it. Didn't love it. I liked it because I'm like, oh, man, this is a Spielberg movie. It's the definition of a Spielberg movie. But I didn't feel that oomph that the trailers kind of led me to believe it would have. A lot of things were kind of like predetermined to happen, so they didn't happen naturally. I mean, yeah, it's a movie, but it's the flow kind of felt like, and now we're going to go to this moment, and then this moment's going to happen. It's going to be perfectly slide into this moment. Even when they wheeled out Deus Ex Machina at the end of the movie, where I'm just like, where the hell were you keeping that? And did they consent to this, by the way? Because I don't think they did. But yeah, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 as well. I liked it. I feel like I don't know what was left on the cutting room floor, but I think there was a different movie here, and we got this one.
Yeah, I felt the same way because it's sort of, I mean, especially with the whole religion subplot, it's like that just felt really grating to me.
Yeah.
And
hell, it was summed up in that one scene where she calls the Reverend Mother about, it's like, hey, how would you feel? And she told her, I mean, she summed it up.
But
she summed it up in that one scene. You didn't need the whole subplot of religion.
And for that, the Deus Ex Machina also of, again, Margaret's powers, like getting out of whatever jam they need to at any given moment, because as we say, the plot demanded it.
The plot demanded it.
So yeah, I didn't feel that sense of oomph either, because you would think from the end of the movie, I mean, it's in the damn title, so you know what's going to happen, but it didn't feel impactful. Because I thought maybe if the movie had, been more like I mentioned before, like David Fincher's Zodiac, like do a really deep dive on all of the more famous cases that we're familiar with, but give it that Spielberg, his point of view on it type of thing. But because it didn't lend itself to being as suspenseful as I wanted it to be. They did try and explain away some of the forthcoming contrivances by saying, "Oh, a corporation's going to handle this. We don't want the feds getting involved in that kind of thing." But I thought a better structure for this film would have been: you begin on election night with a presidential candidate winning who's pledged to declassify everything, and guys at the Pentagon going like, "Oh shit, we've got 2.5 months before this happens, so let's go through the files, sanitize what we need to," and somebody finds something intriguing that they decide to steal. But take it to more interesting places like Area 51. Why don't we ever, like with so many alien movies and stuff like that, you would think that one of them would want to use Area 51 as an actual location, but no, or something like that. Focus more like maybe flashback scenes and stuff on these, again, more famous cases rather than just brief found footage type clips. But so yeah, I gave it also 3.5 out of 5. I did like it a bit more the second time I saw it. So we'll see how I sit with it later on.
Yeah, I think the original trailer had a real bait and switch at the end of it, because I don't know if you remember the trailer I'm talking about, where they have the spaceship coming out of the clouds like Independence Day, and then when you get to that moment, I'm just like, motherfucker, you had me at the trailer, and that's how you use it. Come on.
Yep. Hello, welcome to the hot pepper pile with Cat. Hello, lemon pie. That's nice.
Hello. Where is this thing? Who else is in the chat?
Nobody yet.
Nobody? Okay.
But hello, lemon pie. We've had at least 3 people watching on and off, so we'll see who else shows up. But I just got back from Michael Sarnowski's new film, The Death of Robin Hood. And I realized that the camera is inverting the picture for some reason.
Well, it looks good over here.
Oh, okay, that's good. He's the same guy who made Pig, that you guys are familiar with, the Nick Cage film. This was like, it's very bleak. It's very brutal in the beginning. And, it's not really a spoiler, so it's like about, the death of Robin Hood in the last chapter of the Robin Hood tale where he's injured at the Priory. But it didn't really go anywhere. It's kind of like, Robin's talking about how, oh, I was no hero, and all those tales are just, commoners making up bullshit and things like that. And he's like, yeah, maybe I killed a few corrupt guys, but it wasn't by design. And yeah, maybe we left some treasure behind, but it was only because, we could only take as much as we could carry. But it's like I expected the movie to do more of a deep dive on it. It's just him mentioning that every once in a while he's at the Priory helping raise Little John's daughter, who's there as well. And because originally the Robin Hood stories, he was like a murderous, just like an outlaw, who then got romanticized in English folklore over the centuries. And so the movie's basically co-signing that thesis. But other than some brutality in the beginning, there doesn't seem to be much of a central conflict. It's like, okay, you're recuperating at the Priory, you're teaching Little John's daughter how to hunt and stuff, and you're talking about how, oh, never say my name, never let them know who I am, and oh, I was a bad guy or whatever. I'm like, okay, are you going to show us more of that, or do, a deeper revelation of some kind? And no, it just kind of, it's like a bleak and dreary mood piece that tweaks the ending of the famous legend where he's, dying in bed, and he takes the he takes the arrow and he fires it. And he says, wherever the arrow lands is where I'm going to be buried. And it tweaks that a little bit. But I was a little disappointed with this movie. I mean, it's well made. The cinematography and the set design and just the mood and some of the real, like, medieval English songs in it are pretty good. But it just, I was expecting more of them to do. Like, if you're going to have a Robin Hood movie where they're actually, to my knowledge, this would be the first live action Robin Hood movie where they actually say what he is, like a real murderous outlaw, then I would expect the storyline leading up to the death of Robin Hood to lean into that a lot harder than this does, rather than just kind of meandering. So, and I gave it 3 out of 5. I was a little bit.
I know the running gag since the first trailer came out was Old Man Robin Hood, kind of like Old Man Logan.
Yeah, it's literally the same kind of conflict where he's old, he kind of wants to die, he has all these regrets. It's like, okay, we've kind of done this before with Logan, but unlike Logan, which even though that kind of existed in its own weird canon, we had all the previous X-Men movies to get an idea of
Yeah.
why he's that way. In this, we don't. Like, other than a admittedly pretty brutal scene early in the movie, it's like, okay, so you were an outlaw, and it's like, are we gonna find out why the commoners romanticized tales about you to make you sound heroic? No, okay.
So
Uh,
would this be more or less a if you've seen any Robin Hood type of movie before this one, you should use that as a platform to understand this one?
well, no, because all these other Robin Hood movies portray him as an outright hero, and
Hey,
this
but
he's basically like,
I know, but wouldn't this
oh
movie
right,
be exist to deconstruct that what came
right,
before?
but that's the thing is that I expected the movie to be a bigger deconstruction, but other than him just saying it,
Oh, just
like, "Oh,
saying.
I was no hero." Yeah, and then again, some brutal scene in the beginning, but it doesn't do
Gotcha.
and admittedly a violent scene involving a child, but it doesn't really dig into that and have a deeper examination of that. Like, you don't get flashbacks of, like, if he's having any kind of regrets or thinking about anything particular, you don't really get to see any of it. I mean, it's a good performance by Hugh Jackman, but it's like, okay, you can talk about it for so much, but this is a movie, so show, don't tell,
Yeah, it sounds like it's too afraid to go too deep into what it's trying to say.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, well, if you're going to actually go for it, then go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says disclosure day will be when we learn why Scotty isn't on the channel anymore. Oh, I'm still wondering that. I remember he put his foot down last year we were doing the Faster, Faster, Faster show, and I wanted to call it something else like Pit Stops, Tires, and Checkered Flags or something like that, and he threw a fit. So we called it Faster, 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 and after 3 episodes he just bailed and he's like, "Well, we only get 30 viewers." I'm like, that's what we always get. What do you care? And then he lied and said, "Oh, it's a weeknight show and I have to have a job," but he's not employed and he still shows up for Jill's show on Friday. So that was a lie. I guess he just got bored and didn't care for me. I mean, we're still friends, but it's like I don't really. He doesn't have much of an interest. Like the last 3 times we've done this specific show from the pile, he said, "Oh, I want to come on. I watch him stuff." I'm like, "Great," and then he texted me like 2 hours before we go live saying, "Oh, I got to bail. Sorry." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So that's so that's kind of a mystery. So you guys can give him shit for that if you want. I'll appreciate it.
Well, the good news is he can't delete this while it's live.
Yeah. I also saw Toy Story 5 today.
I'll be seeing tonight at 10.
I thought it was a good story. I thought it reached its emotional peak before the climax.
Mm-hmm.
But this is very much Jesse taking the lead. Like, Woody's barely in it. When he's there, it's like, oh yeah, and then there's Woody. Buzz has more screen time, but it's not as much about him. There's like a running gag where he wants to propose to Jesse. And there is a subplot involving a bunch of Buzz Lightyears, which is really funny at times, especially the Bambi gag. But
oh, I can't wait to see it.
but the whole, the tech versus toys, and it raised a really great question. Like, tech is taking over, and what do we do about it? And the tech thinking, oh, we're better, and the toys are like, no, they need to learn to play, and having to find some type of mutual respect for each other, that type of story. But I didn't feel they really solved that overarching question of how do you deal with the fact that tech is invading? Like, because the threat of tech, while it does teach kids a lot of stuff, it also results in them having no imaginations and no creativity for themselves. And I felt that the way they're trying to achieve the happy medium with Bonnie and her relationship with tech versus toys in this movie is more through a very unique set of circumstances. Like, it didn't solve the overall question is, yeah, there is an existential threat to toys, even in the real world. How do you reconcile that with tech? And they kind of show how they can coexist, but it's like, I felt that they didn't really get there with it. But again, it's a fun movie. Once again, I felt some of the original toys were sidelined, like Slinky and Rex and the piggy bank and the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. They did bring back Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom, but he's barely in it as well. But But again, it's a good story. It's just a Jesse-led story. So if you're a fan of the Jesse character and doing emotional callbacks to that character, it was fine. I get 3.5 out of 5. It didn't reach the highs of the first movie. I liked it more than Toy Story 2 because that one I just wasn't. I didn't care for. I thought Woody was just his ego made him so unbearable in Toy Story 2, and that storyline I just didn't care for. It's been a while since I've seen Toy Story 4, but I think I liked Toy Story 4 a little bit better than this, even though I still stand by the fact that I think this was a great concept and one of their best concepts since the original. Just not. It's a cute movie, so yeah.
What did Toy Story 2 do to you?
I just thought the whole storyline with Woody in the guy's apartment was unbearably slow. And they already covered Woody dealing with his ego and his insecurities in the first movie, so I just didn't buy that he would at the drop of a hat just abandon Andy and all the toys again to go be in a collection. Like, I couldn't really get there with that, but I did like the story of Buzz leading the toys on an expedition to find him and how they involved Zurg, and I just wish that was more a part of it. But Toy Story 3, it's like Escape from Alcatraz. I didn't like that the villain, Lotso Huggin Bear, was not redeemed. And like, they kind of redeemed him, and I thought that was a really great storyline for that character. And then they have him be a jerk at the last second just for... And I thought that kind of pulled the rug under that character for me. And I never once believed that all the toys were going to get incinerated, so I wasn't feeling the emotion that the movie clearly wants you to feel in that moment. But the last scene, of course, when Andy gives up his toys, is a great scene. But I disagree with those that say, "Oh, there's nothing else to be mined or nothing else they should do with it," just because they ended Andy's story. I think it's fine that they did Toy Story 4 and 5.
Well, 4 and I'll wait to watch 5 and then I'll give my spiel.
Let's see. Lemon Pie says, "Oh, thank you for shedding light on it," referring to why Scott is not on the show anymore. Very refreshing, transparent, direct answer. Yes, thank you. This is funny. He says, "I had theorized that Scotty and Ernesto had a most handsome contest that resulted in a falling out. My baseless theory was incorrect." Oh, that's funny.
The fact that you think that would be a contest in the first place insults me. But okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Scott just kind of bailed.
Have you heard me? Have you seen me? It's me. It's always me. Me. By the way, I got toys. Speaking of toys, I got toys to show off. I had bought 2 of these a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to show them off in one of our reviews. I got some Steelies, Kat.
Cool.
The first, they're still sealed because I forgot where I put them. The first one, I got the steelbook from Arrow Video of Conan the Barbarian.
Nice.
Look at that. Beautiful poster. I love it.
Ooh.
Like, this is what inspired He-Man right there.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen it. And I feel like rewatching it at some point. But yep, I got the steelbook for it. I also got the steelbook for Avatar, Fire and Ash. Right there.
Yep, I got that one too.
Everybody's favorite villainess right there.
Mm.
I got that one. And this one arrived in the mail. I forgot it was on its way, but it said June 11th, and I forgot because I ordered this on June 2nd. So it arrived finally, and I bought it on special. It was always teetering between $60 and $65. And then one day I opened up the Amazon app, and it was for $39.99. I'm like, sold. I got the Wolverine version of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Nice. I think that's the one I got as well, I believe.
I didn't like the Deadpool one. I'm just like, look at that. Speaking of Hugh Jackman,
yeah.
Here we go.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my toys.
That's nice.
Indeed.
Kat, oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Do you want trivia?
Sure.
Let's go for trivia. By the way, yeah.
Lemon Pie says, "Who was voted #1 most handsome handsy boy? We may never know."
Handsome Hansy boy. What the fuck is a Hansy boy?
I don't know. I was wondering if I read that correctly or not.
I can see why you were stuttering. I'm stuttering too.
Uh,
Hansy. Oh boy.
well, it was part of it because it was covered, because I got to do this on mobile and I have very limited options compared to
Oh,
the desktop version.
okay.
But oh yeah, and last Friday night I went to a Bob Dylan concert. That was fun. Cross that off the bucket list. Yeah, he came to town, and I'd never been down to this Indian casino. It's been there forever. And you went there, it was really busy. It was probably among some of the youngest people in the in the venue.
Hmm.
But it's funny because this band comes out and they turn off the lights and they start playing, and there was a sign on your way in that said, due to art for artistic purposes, Bob Dylan will not be using the jumbotrons. So in other words, you're only going to be able to see him on stage. And the lights were kind of all out. The band started playing, and he walks out in a white hoodie, and he sits behind the piano, and he's got the hood all the way on with a hoodie, and he's sitting there behind the whole time, never addresses the crowd, but he never stops between songs either. Everything transitions smoothly into the next song, mostly playing his blues music from the last 5 years. And the most famous one he did was All Along the Watchtower, which of course he famously wrote, which Hendrix, of course, did the better version of it. But at the end of the show, he just comes out, walks out in front of the stage. He's still got the white hoodie on. He kind of waves, and then he walks back. And right behind this venue, they have the big bays for the motorhomes that they come in. And so by the time we got out of the venue and we're walking back towards the parking lot, his RV is already on its way out because his band travels in a separate, less glamorous RV, and they're already on their way to Berkeley. And it was, I thought, okay, that's kind of the way to do it. Just show up right in the back. Don't even stay at the hotel. Or they call you, they knock on your door when it's absolutely time to walk out on stage. You do the music and you just walk back in the motorhome and leave.
I see.
But I thought, yeah, that's great the way Bob Dylan does it. Doesn't want to play his classic songs. He does what he wants. People call it the never-ending tour, which he disputes because he does multiple tours every year, which is insane. And he's been doing that since 1988, nonstop. It's crazy. But yeah, it's still pretty fun. It's kind of a thing to. I've also seen. I saw Sting and the Police. I saw Stephen Marley, and then I've seen Jimmy Buffett, and then a double concert with Billy Joel and Elton John, and those are the only concerts I've ever seen. So I guess I got some pretty good names for going to concerts.
Yeah,
But that was fun.
I haven't been to concerts that often, if any, at least on my own. I had a chance of seeing Shakira front stage. If I had $1,000, I could have probably paid over time, but I missed the window on that, and I don't know when the next time she's going to go on tour. I know Pitbull's supposed to go on tour, and he'll be in Phoenix in November, and he knows how to throw a party when he does his concert, so who knows?
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, trivia. Question number 570. The movie Touch of Evil.
Oh, famous.
In Touch of Evil, Schwartz says, Hank was a great detective, all right. What is Tanya's response to this? Is it A, a lousy cop? B, compared to what? C, he's a great detective just so long as he's dead? Or D, despite all evidence to the contrary?
I want to be careful how I answer this. I'm going to say, and I'm sure you can guess why, I'm going to say D.
All right. Incorrect. The answer is A, and a lousy cop.
Hey, okay.
One more?
Yes.
All right. Question number 769. My favorite way to end the number. 769. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, wrong number. There we go. Perfect. Okay. 769. For which of these performances did Faye Dunaway win an Oscar? Was it A, Network, B, 3 Days of the Condor, C. Bonnie and Clyde, or D. Chinatown?
I'm gonna say Network.
And you say A. Yeah, we got
Yeah,
one.
Network. Yep.
All right. Tune in 2 weeks from now for question number 1933.
Mm.
All right. Cat, from the pile.
Uh, yeah. Was there any other movie news this week?
Well, I think there's a Spider-Man movie coming out soon.
Oh yeah, it's in another month. Yeah.
And there's an Odyssey movie coming out soon, and I believe correct. Yes. And I got a ticket for each one.
Yes. And then
Did you?
next week we'll have some. I got a ticket for the Odyssey. I did not yet get a ticket for Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
But that's not going to be as much of an issue for me up here. But and we'll have some good Batman news next week to share.
Yes, we
Uh,
will.
but all right, begin with the pile.
The pile. What do you got for me, Kat?
Okay, I'll go first. Seeing as last week we had the new Spielberg film Disclosure Day, I decided to pick a Spielberg film I haven't seen. This is an earlier film. He's done 2 chase movies in his entire filmography, and this is one of them.
Now, Kat,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to look at your partner's homework and just put your name over it.
I'm not.
Are you sure? Because it sounds like
But
you did.
I don't think so.
Well, let's reveal at the same time what movie we both had the idea of watching in the theme of Spielberg in 3,
Okay.
2,
2.
1.
The Sugarland Express.
Oh, me too. I guess we both had a Spielberg idea, didn't we?
I have definitely seen Duel. I have it here on the 4K Steelbook. I've seen this a couple times.
Well, this is my first time
but-
watching both. Sugarland.
First time for
Duel.
both.
First time for both.
Yeah, I had a unique experience watching the Sugarland Express because my internet on the TV was just horrible. It took like 3.5 hours to get through a movie that was under 2 hours long. I didn't know it was based on a true story, so I'm like, oh, okay. And for those who don't know, the true story is pretty much that this lady and her ex, in reality, he was already out of prison, but they team up because they find out that their kid has been taken by CPS, and in reality was given to her parents. In the movie, it's a random couple. And so they kidnapped a Texas highway patrolman and went on a very slow chase across Texas. I can't remember what the point of origin was, but they were on their way to Sugarland, Texas to get the kid. And the movie reimagines it that she actually breaks him out of prison when he's only 4 months away from getting out of jail. And they kidnap the Texas patrolman, and they end up kind of bonding with him along the way. And I got a little bit of a Blues Brothers vibe with some of the chase scenes, which makes sense because John Landis had Spielberg cameo in that film as the Cook County assessor towards the end of the movie. You have vigilantes trying to stop them. You have the police captain, and it was a fun little chase movie. And I thought the parade scene was just very bizarre, where everybody's like treating them like they're folk heroes and giving them all these gifts, including a little pig. And she's bragging about, oh, it peed on me, it peed on me. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? It's just a bit weird. And the ending I know was, it's spoilers, but whatever. The guy gets shot at the house when he goes to get the kid. In reality, he also got shot, but lived a bit longer and died in a hospital, I think, the next day. But it did have kind of this sad ending. Like even Spielberg emphasizes, like the teddy bear that somebody gives her as a gift to give to her baby falls out the window, and they have to get run over by all these squad cars. And the camera's like really focusing on it, really trying to make you feel sad about the whole thing. And it's just it ended very abruptly. And I was like, okay. And then you get like the intertitles saying what happened to her. And then eventually, as in reality, mother and the baby were reunited at some point and lived semi-anonymously. But yeah, I had never seen the movie before. It was funny. It was okay. But I didn't think it was as thrilling as Duel, even though I would have rewritten some of Dennis Weaver's dialogue in that. But I give Sugarland Express 3.5 out of 5. And here's Lemon Pie. Says he's been to Sugarland. Ooh, nice. Says they still had old sugar silos. Nice.
Well, that explains why they call it Sugarland then.
Yeah, because I wasn't aware of that either.
I thought it was one of those things like Neverland or, type of places.
Right.
Like it's called this, but it really has nothing to do with it. It's just called that for some reason. Yeah, as far as the Sugarland Express, I think this would be, unless I'm mistaken, I'll have to double check. I may correct myself at some point while we're doing the show. This has to be the first time I legit saw a movie with Goldie Hawn in the lead.
Okay.
Maybe I've seen some of her movies when I was growing up, but I can't off the top of my head think of which one. Have I seen her in a few movies? Yes, but maybe like not even top billing, just she's just there as a character. But as far as lead material, or she's on the fucking poster, this might be the first one. And again, it's weird seeing her young when you're so used to seeing her, like I'm not used to seeing actors and actresses that I've known that were like 40 years or older when I was growing up, and seeing them when they were like before I was born, essentially. So it was like, man, you were young back then. And we just mentioned recently Bonnie and Clyde in one of the multiple choice here, and I'm like, man, if Bonnie and Clyde is a thing, then you guys are like D-level Bonnie and Clyde, because it was like, I'm laughing in some situations because of how ridiculous they got this. Like, it really is her fault that they, in the movie specifically, like, they could have played it cool, but she's freaked out so quick that she took off with that old couple's car. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you could have just had a simple conversation. So, yeah, they were taking us into town. We do apologize. I didn't think they were going to drive that slow. And y'all could have just left with no issue whatsoever. But it was pretty charming, and watching it on Blu-ray in its 35 millimeter format, it looked very good on the 4K TV, even though it's a regular Blu-ray. And man, and I'll get to Duel later, but you can see some of his Spielberg-isms early on in his film career here that you'll end up seeing later in E.T., in Jaws, and all that stuff. Just little things like Law Enforcement for whatever reason. When I saw these little kids, like Blink and you see kids on the bicycles, I'm like, man, if you could probably turn the camera to the side and you'll see kids flying into the air with E.T. because you see all those bicycles and all those cop cars going down the street. And all those camera angles of his. And I think this is the first time you see the scene with those two cops that are like right there at the shop. They're like standing there posing, and they're chewing gum. And you see those little those lights that they use to look under the hood. I feel like, oh, that's the first spotlight fetish right there. That's the first spotlight that Spielberg later used early on. Yeah, I had a good time watching it. It was very amusing. Yeah, it does have its sad moments, but the way it started, the soundtrack with the harmonica, and it was like it was a good fun watch.
Yep.
What did you give it?
I gave it 3.5 out of 5, and
yep, that's
even though I had the intermittent streaming issues, the 4K stream, it looked like night and day difference between the 4K and the HD.
Yeah.
And it's so much better. It was really good. I don't know if it might be out on physical media. I'm not sure.
There is a 4K. I think Groove was having a promo because Disclosure Day was coming out, so they had like a $14.99 sale on it. Yeah. And then Duel, which it's a TV movie, but we can call this his first movie because Spielberg came from TV and he was doing TV. He even did like I forgot what TV show he directed an episode of. Columbo. He directed
Columbo.
an episode of Columbo.
He did a
Um,
couple feature-length episodes of shows. Yeah.
yeah, but I would call this like the definitive first movie of his, just because I'm watching this and I have to imagine what it would have been like for people watching this at home. Because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, how many people would rig a camera the way he's rigging it here? How many people would have ever seen a camera in front of the main character's face while he's freaking out that the car is running out of gas and oil and he's trying to make it up the hill in the third act? I'm like,
Mhm.
this movie felt like it could exist in the same universe as Mad Max because of all
Yeah,
that
for
long
sure.
stretch of road and you can even though
And
it
that
has
truck,
yeah and
that
the big
truck is
truck
so
and
Mad
everything.
Max.
Yeah. Um, you know what this was reminding me of as I was watching it? I'm like, man, you can see the seeds of Moby Dick in this movie, pretty much.
Mhm.
But the reverse, instead of Ahab going after the whale, it's the whale coming after him just because he sideswiped him.
Well, it's like Jaws on wheels, is what it
Yes,
is.
and Jaws on wheels. And I'm just like, man, you were destined to direct Jaws. For
Yeah.
like, there's no question he was the man for that movie because of
I
everything
mean,
that happens here.
the end of the truck in the movie is identical with the shark. The slow motion coming through
Yes.
the dust with
Yes.
the sound of the roaring Godzilla or whatever when it's going off, and the what sounds like the twisted metal of the roaring sound that the shark makes when the shark fins rolling in the bloody water at the end of Jaws.
Ooh, ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It
it's
was
the
all
same
it
thing.
was like a boom, boom, boom. Did you get the reference? Did you get the reference?
I love a story behind this where he's like, they had 10 days to make this, but they wanted him to do it on a soundstage with rear projection. He's like, no, that's gonna look ugly. And he's like, I could do it. And he's like, well, you have 3 days you can shoot on location. If you could do it, we'll let you do it. He does it in 12 days. And there's a great documentary interview on there where he's describing how he actually shot this movie,
Yeah.
where he'd set like 5 cameras or 12 cameras on either side down the road, and all he'd have to do is flip them around to shoot it again. And not only from the perspective of the camera does it make the truck look like it's going a lot faster than it is,
Mhm.
just think the top speed was like 60 miles an hour,
Mhm.
but he could get so many shots done so quickly. And he had actual camera cars because he didn't want to always mount them to the cars. He's like, oh, it would rattle too much. And he was explaining how he literally could not make that movie like that today. He says he has no idea how he did it. He said it must have been because he was so hungry for it to shoot it in just 12 days, and that the studio was upset that he went over budget by 2 days. But when it aired on TV, there's a great story in a new book out called The Last Kings of Hollywood about Spielberg, Lucas, and Coppola. And Coppola was throwing a house party, and Lucas was there, and George snuck out upstairs to watch Duel because he knew it was going to be on. And when the first commercial break hit, he races downstairs like, Francis, you got to get up here and watch this. This guy's really good.
No, well, you know what I didn't know, and of course, there's a lot about this movie that I didn't know because the first time watching it, there was and it was before I logged in here. I think I saw like maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes of it about the writer, about how he came up with the story, and he came up with it around the time of the Kennedy assassination, and
Yeah,
they're driving
Richard
back
Matthews.
home, and they're driving back home. They're all angry, they're all emotional, and they are driving on the highway. There's this narrow cut. There's a truck, and that's how the movie came to be. And I'm like, oh, all right, interesting. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes the British ideas come from the most emotional of places. It makes sense.
Lemon Pie says the truck driver is the guy that gives him a quick look in the diner. Your thoughts? Spielberg specifically said that's not true. He says he's in the documentary on there. He's heard stories to that effect, but he's like, no. Kerry Lofton, who is a stunt driver, is only ever in the truck. He's not in the diner. And there are other guys that looked kind of like him, but Spielberg himself says no, that it wasn't him.
Oh yeah, they were
Um,
all red herrings just to play mind games with our lead about could it be him? It could be him.
right.
Yeah.
But other people, for I am aware of the story online where everybody's like, "Oh, this is the guy," and he admittedly does look a lot like the real guy, but it turns out it's not him.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
The thing I didn't like because I liked the idea that you never saw the driver. but
Right.
you
That was again making the monster out of him. Yeah.
yeah, like you never really see his face. You might catch a glance of the side because, of course, back then you can only get away with cutting the camera too quickly, or the visor was
Yeah.
not dark enough, and you could see the silhouette of a person there. And of course, someone has to be driving, so you're going to see the silhouette. But in the shots where you don't see anything of a driver being there, it felt like it was man versus truck. Like it felt like a Stephen King novel almost, with just imagine you're driving and all of a sudden you come across this demonic truck that suddenly is out to get you. And
Yeah.
granted, Stephen King ended up writing a book about a demonic truck that got took over by technology. But in this movie, it's just like, no, man, it's just you and the truck. And I like how at the end, and I'm pretty sure Spielberg mentioned this in one of his documentary interviews, is that the way the truck looks after it's destroyed, he really emphasizes that this is a monster. So every time he goes looking at from shot to shot, you see blood dripping. Was it oil or blood of the driver?
It was blood, probably.
Yeah, but the blood,
Yeah.
it's almost not even belongs to the driver. It's supposed to belong to the truck. And then you
Right.
see the fan. The fan is still turning, still going and going because the truck is still holding on to dear life. And when the wheel stops spinning, okay, it's dead. It's dead.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like, well, I don't think you're gonna make it to that meeting, man. You just go home, walk back.
and all the license plates are from all the other people the truckers killed already.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was wondering about that. Okay.
and the TV version was 74 minutes, but once they decided it was so good, they paid Spielberg to go out and shoot 2 more days, 16 minutes of footage. Like you'll notice the scene when the truck is trying to push him into the train, which
Yeah,
of course we just saw in Disclosure Day.
yeah,
You'll notice that it's a different truck because they only had one truck on that movie and they destroyed it. And so when people are like, "Oh, where's the dual truck today?" and they're like, "Well, you're looking at probably the copy that was made for the 2 days of reshoots that they got."
yeah,
Because he liked that that was the only all the other truck designs they showed him were the ones that have just the solid cab in the front with the
yeah.
the windshields coming down to the grill, and that was the only one with the long snout that it looked really great because it was much older
Mhm.
type of truck, I think from 1946. Uh, Lemon Pie says Dennis Weaver is great. Yeah, he was pretty good. Spielberg was really happy that he got him. Some of his inner monologue dialogue, I probably would have rewritten
I
some of it.
didn't like it at all. That is my only negative of this movie. The monologue. I'm like, why? It felt like it was taking me out the whole time because I'm like,
Yeah.
for the most part, you can kind of tell what he's thinking just by looking at how stressed he is. And yeah,
Yeah.
if we're in your shoes, we'd be thinking the same thing. We'd probably be beating the crap out of every single guy in that diner just to figure out, was it you? Like, what have I done to you? Freaking road rage.
That's why I'm surprised he didn't just announce to the whole diner, "Hey, does anybody know whose truck that is out there?"
Yeah. Could you imagine if he does it? We're like, oh, we don't talk about him. Oh, well, you see, no, I can't.
uh,
I wouldn't be surprised if this movie inspired other movies down the line because you know what? I also got a vibe from this. I got a vibe from Jeepers Creepers.
oh, exactly, because that's definitely the same. A rusty old truck with all the
Yes.
with the
Yeah.
beating you license plate and these. And that one is kind of stranger because in this one, it seems the havoc is created because David Mann simply drives around to the truck at one time by going in the opposite lane of traffic, and that kind of pisses off the trucker and makes him decide, "Oh, I'm going to kill you." Whereas in Jeepers Creepers, it's the other way around, where the truck comes up behind the car and he
Mm.
keeps trying to wave him around and he won't do it. And that's just an excellent opening sequence for that film, but you could definitely see the influence there.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like maybe I can't say them off the top of my head, but I'm watching. I'm just like, man. Even though Spielberg copies his own Spielbergisms, as we just mentioned, the train scene and Disclosure Day and stuff like that, and E.T. and the cops and the bicycles and stuff. But I'm watching this. I'm just like I mentioned with Jeepers Creepers. I'm like, there are other movies that I can't think of, but I know probably borrowed from this movie specifically. Because
Yes.
again, the Mad Max, if this belongs in the Mad Max universe, number one. So it's like, Jesus Christ, just turn around and like, hey, George, I can do it too.
Well, it's funny because when they shot the extra footage for the theatrical release, it was only released overseas. So I wonder if I don't know, maybe George Miller saw it at one point
Yeah,
and
maybe it
decided,
could have inspired Mad Max.
yeah, or at least the Road
It's
Warrior,
very,
because
it's
this
a
is
very,
crazy.
it's almost a bottle movie in a sense. Like, yeah, there's the diner and stuff, but for the most part, you're on the road between the truck and David Weaver. So it's just like, all right, we're in it. I give this a 4 out of 5. I was very
I do,
entertained.
yeah, I do too. That's a solid 4 out of 5.
Very solid.
I've only watched the theatrical version, haven't watched the shorter TV version.
Yeah.
I know that some of the added footage was him driving out of his driveway and through LA. And then the phone call with his wife was added, and then that train sequence was added. Um, those specifically, but it was funny that in the movie they chose to for the extended version. It's like his wife is complaining and doesn't want to get in a fight because she's like, "Oh yeah, that guy practically threw himself on me last night, and you didn't do anything about it." And and here in this one, he feels very timid throughout much of the movie, and takes him forever to finally
Get
work
it
up the
back.
balls to actually fight back. So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
hell,
okay, I can see that connection.
yeah, there's a moment where he gets out of the car and he starts bum rushing the truck, but the truck is like, get back in
Yeah,
your car and do this properly.
and they also had the weird bit at the beginning where the guy calls in on the radio show
The
asking a
census
question
taker.
about the census about, and that's the same type of theme where he's worried about looking not very like emasculated or whatever to say his wife's the head of the house, and the census taker keeps trying to say it's not a problem and nobody else is going to see it, and
Yeah.
yet that's similar to what he's going through as David
Yeah.
Mann.
Masculinity is a big theme here because I mean, you look at him
Yeah,
compared to the other guys in this movie. Yeah, he's kind of a wimp. He's very milk toast, and that conversation with his wife is like, well, honey, you could have stood up for me. You could have said something, and you just let him walk over me because you didn't want a confrontation. Well, here's your confrontation.
yeah.
But that kind of also goes with the theme of most horror movies. People have to go through like a very existential crisis in a way to
Yeah.
to come back a different person than they started.
Lemon Pie says the driver was McLeod's boss.
Wow.
I don't get the reference. I'm sorry, I don't get the reference.
Oh,
I would be able to Google it if I weren't on my phone because it would kick me out if I had to open another window.
McLeod's boss.
But yeah, this is a fantastic film shot in the mountains of Santa Clarita near Vasquez Rocks and that whole area, and a little bit in it's actually the climactic cliffside where they threw the truck off the cliff is only about 10 miles east of Six Flags Magic Kingdom.
I
Or
get
not
it.
Magic Kingdom, Six Flags Magic Mountain, I should say.
So
What is it?
Deputy Marshal Sam McLeod's boss in the classic 1970s NBC series McLeod was Chief Peter B. Clifford, played by veteran character actor J.D. Cannon. And our lead actor is in that show.
Oh.
Yes. That's the reference. Small world.
Cool.
But yeah, I know when I started watching Sugarland Express and the Universal logo pops up, I said out loud, kind of like the same way of Lego Batman movie, where it's like Universal Studios, the house that Spielberg built. At least the modern Universal, because I mean, that was boom, win after win after win with Spielberg making movies for them.
Yeah, for sure. It still is.
Yeah, exactly. Still is.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, unless you got something else to cover, I guess it's a shorter episode tonight.
I got about 15 more minutes to kill before I have to get ready to leave. I was gonna do, but yeah, I guess we both had the same idea. Let's do Spielberg. And when you said Chase movie, I'm like, no way, she's gonna do Duel. And then when you said Sherlock, like, oh yeah, me too. We both had the same idea. Like these are his first 2 movies, basically. So it's like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Let's see. All right, Blue, calm down. Blue's been in here the whole time, chewing up a scene, right, baby? Oh, funny story. Like, we don't have to talk about movies specifically, but funny story. Bentley, people know Bentley the cat. Bentley likes to spend the nights outside and he spends the days inside, especially since we're in the summer. And when he kind of comes and goes and everything, and here you go. And so last night around 10:30, I hear him meowing outside, but his meowing sounded very gargled. And I'm like, oh boy, what did you do? So I open the door and then he just go brrr, runs right back inside. And I see that he has something in his mouth. And from the back, I'm thinking he's got like this big white cotton ball. It looks like a cotton ball. And I don't know, maybe he got into a fight with another cat and maybe he just bit it and took some of its fur. No. I reached into his mouth and something was slithering and I just dropped it. And it was like a piece of rock. And on the rock was a pale lizard that was holding onto the rock for dear life. And I guess Bentley just went out hunting because the moment I dropped it, the lizard was holding onto it. He was going like this, and it was missing its tail. So Bentley was just basically having almost a midnight snack here. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just get this guy out of here or throw him away because he's clearly not going to make it past now. You pretty much just tore him apart. And so as I'm about to grab him, he kind of like flinches and jumps, and then he falls off the rock. And then Bentley just pounces on him and starts playing and going, bing, 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 bing. I'm like, Bentley, let him go. Let him go. Let me just take him out. Let me put him out of his misery. No. As soon as I'm about to reach it, Bentley goes like this, wham, drags it and goes, and then the next thing I hear is crunch, crunch, munch. And you see the thing's face going, ah! I was like, oh no, he's gone.
Lemon Pie chimes back in and says Dennis Weaver played a cowboy cop in New York in McCloud. And his boss was often irritated with his cowboy loose cannon ways.
Precursor.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, Lemon Pie. Whoever else is watching.
It's always good to have a slice of lemon pie.
It is, always, for sure. I like lemon meringue myself. It's probably going to play the same Batman outro because I don't have the ability to change it, which is bizarre that the mobile version restricts all of that. So I guess until next week, we will be back on our Batman show and sharing the Batman news that we have. Yes. Maybe I can edit this to... I probably won't be able to, so it's going to be weirder. So...
Do you want to take a week off so that we can get all the tech stuff sorted?
No, I'll get the tech stuff sorted on Monday when I get the fixins for it.
All right, no problem. But thank you all for joining, and for the people who watch it on the playback, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all.